placebo-controlled studies, says that the results of the study suggest that supplementation with fish oil may improve the general clinical condition in subjects with mild to moderate Alzheimer's disease and those with mild cognitive impairment, meaning being able to understand things and have those kind of symptoms. Also, there's two other things I want to talk about. I want to talk about Parkinson's, but two other things. One is resveratrol, and we have a formula called 1,000 glasses of red wine, because in 2 capsules you get the equivalent of 1,000 glasses of red wine. Resveratrol impacts Alzheimer's disease biomarkers, and it says the largest nationwide clinical trial to study high-dose resveratrol long-term in people with mild to moderate Alzheimer's disease found that a biomarker that declines when the disease progresses was stabilized in people who took the purified form of resveratrol. And again, resveratrol from red wine, from grapes, the skin, and it's in red wine. And I named our formula 1,000 glasses of red wine because that's what you get in 2 capsules. And GlaxoSmithKline, I don't know if you ever saw the 60 Minutes article on resveratrol, but GSK, GlaxoSmithKline, bought the company that did all the research on resveratrol for $750 million, $750 million. They bought the company because they want to make a drug out of it. You know, they want to make a drug that they can make profits on. You know, that's the only reason they do these things. Number one, they do it because they see it's effective and safe, and that they can make profits on. So this is another very powerful antioxidant, resveratrol, that works. And if it didn't work, they wouldn't have paid $750 million. I mean, we're talking huge amounts of money. They would never have paid that for this company in Canada that did all the research on resveratrol for Alzheimer's, for heart disease, for anti-aging. They wouldn't have paid. They wouldn't have done it. They wouldn't have paid $2, let alone $750 million with a B dollars, if it wasn't effective. And it is effective. And there's a lot of literature behind it. So resveratrol is another very, very powerful antioxidant if you get the right type. Ours is very, very effective. But they wouldn't have come close to even thinking about paying that kind of money for a company if it didn't work. And the bottom line is it does work. Now, something else I want to talk about with memory loss, and that is the statin drugs cause memory loss in a number of people. If you go to our website at 1-800-CHEMIST.com and look up under Health Connection Radio, you'll see taped broadcasts. If you scroll down far enough, you'll see one that I did with Dr. Gravelin. It looks like Graveline, but it's Gravelin, Graveline, Dr. Gravlin is a medical doctor, and he was actually in the Gemini space program in the 60s. He was in, I think, Group 3. He never went into space. But he is an MD. He was an astronaut. He's retired. He would go back to NASA in Houston every year to get a physical. And one year, his MD, flight surgeon, said, look, your cholesterol's too high. We need to put you on Lipitor. He said, okay. So he went on Lipitor, came back to Florida, and within a few days, a few days to a week, his wife saw him wandering around in the garden. She went out to him. He didn't know who he was. He didn't know who she was. He had lost most of his memory. TGA, total global amnesia, transient global amnesia, TGA, transient global amnesia, which is losing your entire memory and ability to form new memory from time to time. So they thought he had a stroke, took him to a neurologist, said he didn't have a stroke, and he said the only different thing he had done was take Lipitor. And this doctor said, no, Lipitor, statins don't do that. So he stayed on it. Within another few days, he said that, look, nothing's improving. So he and his wife decided to stop it. He stopped the statin drug. Within, I don't know, about a week, his memory came back. So he stayed off of it. A year later, he went back to his flight surgeon in NASA in Houston. And the doctor said, look, your cholesterol's too high. You need to go back on the statin. He said, look, doc, the last time I did that, I lost my memory. The doctor said, no, statins don't do that. So he went back on it. And again, within a week or so, his memory was lost. So he finally went off of it. He wrote a couple of books. One was, I got them here. One was statin drug side effects and the misguided war on cholesterol. And the other one was Lipitor, Thief of Memory. And you can get both of those at spacedoc.net, SPACEDOC.net. And he is written a lot of articles also. It's on his website, spacedoc.net. But that basically documents the fact that he had memory loss from taking Lipitor. For him, it was Lipitor, but all statin drugs can do that. Now, the main side effect of statin drugs come because it depletes CoQ10. So if you are choosing to take statin drugs, you need to take CoQ10. Ours is called Super Q Gel. You can get Q Gel at health food stores, and that'll prevent a bunch of side effects, not always memory loss. But later, after I had interviewed Dr. Gravlin, which again is on our website at 1-800-CHEMIST.com under Health Connection Radio, under tape broadcast. You can listen to it there. After I had interviewed him, ABC News had mentioned that people have problems with memory loss with statin drugs. So you can get all that information on our website, 1-800-CHEMIST.com, under Health Connection Radio, under tape broadcasts. Tomorrow we're going to talk about hormone imbalances in men and women. More information on our programs at Body Chemistry Associates, 34 years in the business of human nutritional biochemistry. 1-800-CHEMIST, 1-800-243-6478, 7 days a week here from 2 to 3 p.m. on WWNN. More information on our programs, the Body Chemistry Associates, 1-800-CHEMIST, 1-800-243-6478, on the web, 1-800-CHEMIST.com. Jay Foster and Health Connection Radio saying thanks for tuning in today. Enjoy the rest of the beautiful day. We'll be with you again tomorrow at 2.
The preceding sponsored program were strictly those of its hosts, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management, or sponsors.
Gallbladder problems, gingivitis, a bad back, indigestion, fatigue, low libido, not sleeping well, need to lose weight. Just some of the topics you'll hear about. Hi, I'm Dr. Bob Martin. Join me Sunday mornings at 10 on Talk 1470. WNN.
Talk 1470. WWNN Pompano Beach, Boca Raton, Miami, Fort Lauderdale.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're here at the Uptown Karate Club, where we're about to witness an incredible display of, well, it's hard not to call it anything but a display of stupidity. Hey, buddy, do you really want to whack that pile of 2x4s with the part of your body that you think with? You know, there are easier ways to prove you're a... Whoa! That's gotta hurt. Like I was saying, there are easier ways to prove you're a man. For instance, registering with Selective Service when you turn 18 shows that you're a man who's responsible and in charge of his life. Plus, it guarantees that you'll have the chance to receive college loans, job training, and government jobs. And best of all, it doesn't hurt a bit.
Register with Selective Service within 30 days of your 18th birthday. Online at www.sss.gov or at your local post office.
Ooh, that's a nasty bruise.
Oh, it does hurt.
Is that a splinter?
Tune in for laughs and surprises with The Boca Show. Sundays at 4, only on 1470 WNN.
The following message is brought to you by the Florida Restaurant and Lodging Association, the Florida Association of Broadcasters, and this radio station.
The Florida Restaurant and Lodging Association represents more than 1 million of your friends and neighbors working in the hospitality industry today. We are creating jobs, funding dreams, and building a strong Florida economy. Trained professionals line up daily to make sure your experience at their restaurants and hotels is unlike anywhere else in the world. So please invite your friends, plan a trip, and stay a while.
Talk health. Talk wealth. Talk politics. Talk 1470 WNN.
The opinions expressed on the following sponsored program are strictly those of the host, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management, or sponsors.
The information on this program is not intended to be a substitute for or a replacement for any professional medical advice or services. You should not use this information to diagnose or treat a health issue or concern without consulting your qualified healthcare provider. Coaching for Health always advises you to seek advice prior to starting any new treatment or regimen of any kind. Any actions and applications resulting from the recommendations on this program are at the listener's discretion. Welcome to Coaching for Health with Suzy Bricker. Suzy is a certified health coach and has her practice based in Delray Beach, Florida. Listen here to find out how Coaching for Health can help you get and stay on the right path to your health and wellness. Spend an hour learning about current topics on all things health and how you can apply them in your life every day. Now, here's Coaching for Health with our host, Suzy Bricker.
All right. Hi,
everybody. Welcome, everybody, to Coaching for Health with me, Suzy Bricker, your certified resident health coach. It is Wednesday, January 20th. Oh my gosh, a whole week's gone by so fast since our first show last Wednesday. Thank you for joining us. You can listen to this show every Wednesday from 1 to 2 p.m. live, hopefully live. We are very much alive. On 1470 AM WWNN Radio, you can download the iHeartRadio, iRadio Now, and TuneIn apps on our very, very smartphones. You can stream us live on WWNN Radio live. You can get us as we are right now. And we are on YouTube, Coaching for Health YouTube, and amp2.tv. It is my honor and pleasure again to be with you every week, and my mission to deliver all that is current in your face, on our minds and bodies and wallets, information on integrative health and wellness, nutrition, supplements, exercise physiology, mind-body health, even pet health, and much more. It's all about living independently healthy. So before I start today's show or our first segment, I'm kind of in an ethereal mood. Rest in peace, Glenn Frey. The Eagles are my all-time favorite band, and I know there are millions of us and millions of you who feel the same way. He passed away earlier this week from pneumonia and complications, I believe, from ulcerative colitis, which is nasty disease, and other maladies. I believe he was quite ill for the last couple of months. He is from, or was from, Detroit, my stomping ground, and Oakland County, Michigan. So I just wanted to just give my condolences, and his death, and the music and the Eagles are an incredible band, and they will live on forever. So anyway, I wanted to just also mention something about a blog that I write on my website, which is www.coachingforhealth.net. I am kind of on the fence about blogging. I believe I have coined a phrase called blog smog. There's a lot of blogs out there, and some of them are great, some of them are not great, not to be judgmental, but I commend people who write blogs and put their opinions and information out there as I do. So kudos to all of us. But I wanted to make a reference to my blog this week about outsourcing. And it's an interesting take on outsourcing, as we know outsourcing to be a business term, particularly how we outsource our employees and our products into China and all kinds of third world countries. But go on my website and read my blog about outsourcing, and it's not in a business sense, it's in a personal sense. And I want to just read something that I read on Facebook that I thought was extremely powerful, and the reason why I wrote this blog on outsourcing, and this is what it is. Your perception of me is a reflection of you. My reaction to you is an awareness of me. So I would like everybody who's listening now, and again, thank you for listening, to really think about that, because I believe it's a very powerful saying and something to live by. All right, so before we get into today's show, and again, we have our esteemed guest, Dr. Carol Foreman Hellerstein, who's a clinical nutritionist for over 30 years. She was on our first show last week. She is here again today in our second segment to start talking about digestive enzymes, which is a very, very important part of health and wellness today. But before we get into the second segment, I just want to tell our listeners a bit about what health coaching is and what it is that we do and what I do. Again, all practitioners are different, but this is the premise for health coaching, and it's a booming, booming, booming profession in healthcare today. Thank God, rightfully so, because it is all about prevention and health and wellness and personal empowerment. So, this is basically, in a nutshell, what health coaches do. We're highly, highly, highly educated professionals in healthcare. We are truly what I believe to be the vision and the way for the present and future of healthcare today in taking charge of our own personal health and wellness. We treat and help people to take charge of their own personal health in the fields of nutrition and wellness, in bio-individual health and wellness, which is the foundation and one of the formulas for my practice. We are lifestyle coaches, which is, again, a main focus of my practice. We are mentors. We are educators. We are hands-on supporters that truly help our clients, really help them to get them to know themselves in ways that they have never gotten to know themselves before. We help them to achieve and sustain their own optimum health and wellness. So one of the things I say to my clients when I first meet a potential client is that you will really become your own eat this and not that judge, and do this and not that judge, authority and judge in your own personal health and wellness, but you will do it in the best way for you and the only way for you, and in programs that are truly developed for you on a bio-individual basis. So that is maybe a bit of a long-winded explanation of what health coaches do. We are now practicing in major corporations all over the country. We are in Florida Blue Cross, I believe, nationwide Blue Cross health and healthcare companies all over the country. And it is truly wonderful to see our country taking charge of employee and personal health and wellness. So that's a bit about that. At this point in the show, I like to talk about hot health topics for the week that was. And in the first show, I mentioned a study about precision weight loss, or I believe that I did. I know we're going to be talking about turning Japanese in a minute, but I found this very interesting study from the University of Texas at Austin about precision weight loss, which is, as I just mentioned, a real basis for how I practice in coaching for health, and I help my clients empower themselves to optimum health and wellness. So we know about the epidemic of obesity in this country. Two-thirds, and I don't know, there's how many million, I don't even know how many people are in this country. Next week I will have the stats and I will tell you. But if you can imagine that 2/3 of adults and 1 out of every 3 children in this country, certainly before the ages of 15, are obese, and we're not going in the right direction. And we are making a huge impact on the debt of this country in all aspects of personal and professional finances and healthcare. And it's just, you all know what the repercussions are of obesity and weight problems. So in this study, they collected detailed data about adding genetics and more hands-on practitioners such as myself to quantify individual information to even go further into bio-individual health and wellness, and really getting on the right track to helping people understand and get into their own personal programs. So this study talks about scientists who are beginning to discover some genetic basis, some, for weight-related issues. Now, when I say some genetic basis, I don't want everybody to run amok with this and think that we are going to establish a genetic criterion for our lifestyles, because it's still and will always be about personal empowerment. But it's very interesting that there are some genetic predispositions and possibly gene predispositions that cause energy from food to be stored as fat rather than being burned as energy. So this is very exciting stuff. The bottom line, and our bottom line, is that bioindividuality is really the way to go. That's really the way that works for sustained health and wellness, whether it's weight loss or anything that has to do with your own personal health. And that really is the way that will work for everybody. So I just wanted to mention that. I think we have a few minutes before we go into our first break. So let me talk about the reference that I made in last week's show, the teaser about us turning Japanese. There was a fascinating study, and I'm into studies, and I eat studies. I soak up studies as like a sponge about why Japanese children, in particular, are the healthiest children in the world. Now, I know that that's not going to come as a surprise to most of you, and it certainly didn't come as a surprise to me. But I'm going to just briefly tell you why the Japanese and why Japanese children are the healthiest children in the world. And they really get it because the future of our country is with our children and our young adults. But we create their future, and we help to create their future by how we raise them and what we teach them in our homes. So it's a fascinating study, and basically what it says is that the Japanese households are really in the throes of planning and constructing how their children live their lives and what they eat and the kind of nutrition that they have. And it's an interactive process for Japanese families on a daily basis. And I think this is crucial and something that we as Americans really need to learn about our families and how we really become adults. So it's interesting because children in Japan can expect to have the healthiest lives and the longest lives of any children on the planet. The U.S., interestingly enough, and sadly enough, ranked 32 on the list. I don't really know how long this list was, but we are 32, and that's not a good place to be. I think this is a stunning statistic for the United States and something we really need to pay attention to. The idea that Japanese food is better than food anywhere is, I believe, why sushi is such a big business in this country today, but we've kind of westernized the concept of sushi. But it is the healthiest food on the planet, and it really creates a total health and wellness lifestyle for children from the very get-go. It's kind of like training a dog. When I have my dogs, I've had dogs all my life, and how you start to train a puppy is really what the dog learns immediately. So if we begin a totally healthy lifestyle for us from the very, very get-go, we don't have to undo learned behaviors. We can just create more great learned behaviors and great lifestyles. So that's basically what it is about the Japanese lifestyle. They really have a more plant-based diet, fruit, less sugar, salt, no processed foods, which I think we're all aware of, smaller portions. And there's a real call to celebrate food and celebrate the lifestyle of the family as a whole. It really urges us to think back to the way things used to be when we used to spend a lot more family time together, which is extremely important. There's more of a holistic outlook to the family life and children in the Japanese culture, and it's about learning all aspects of food and preparation and what's in their pantries and the interaction in their daily lives. So again, I think this is an important study, and I hope we all learn and turn a lot more Japanese in our American way. So I think we are ready to go to our first commercial or sponsor break. Please stay with us. Thank you for being with us for this first segment. We will be back with Dr. Carol shortly.
Being the best takes time, talent, and determination. Getting the most of those things takes coaching. Think of the most successful athletes or performers. They've all got a stable of experts coaching them in every area of their lives. Don't we all wish we could get, let alone afford, that level of service? Well, you can, without sacrificing quality, by working with Suzy Bricker and Coaching for Health. Suzy has extensive knowledge of healthcare strategies, including nutrition, supplements, and exercise physiology, combined with life and career coaching. The results are life-altering, immediate, and sustainable. To find out how you and your family can benefit from Coaching for Health, go to the website coachingforhealth.net or send Suzy an email at susan.brickercoachingforhealth@outlook.com. Don't forget to schedule your free consultation and be on your way to the healthy, happy life you deserve. Call 248-762-4961. Stress is dangerous. We live in a world where we are subjected to it each and every day. These stressors can wreak havoc on our health, cause disease, and affect our daily lives. Stress seems to create or worsen conditions like obesity, weight issues, high blood pressure, Alzheimer's, diabetes, depression, gastrointestinal problems, sleep disorders. Well, the list goes on. It creates a whopping 80% of all visits to the doctor in this country. Enter adaptogens. Natural longevity adaptogens. Adaptogens are a unique, amazingly powerful group of ingredients that adapt their function according to your body's needs. They are the most effective, side effect-free natural stress reduction solution on the planet. Better sleep, better stamina in all areas, improved circulation, and increased overall feelings of well-being are just some of the stunning benefits. For more complete product and ordering information, please go to adaptforhealth.com/WWNN radio. That's ADAPT, the number 4, health.com/WWNN radio. One more time, adapt, the number 4, health.com/WWNN radio. Natural longevity adaptogens, the most powerful formula, period. Do you want to be epic? Do you want to be ultra epic? Well, now you can be. With Natural Longevity's Epic Ultra, you can take your health and wellness to a whole new level. Vitamins and minerals are critical to our overall health and well-being, but not just any vitamins and minerals. They are not, and I repeat, not created equal. There are no other products available that contain the same level of all vitamins and trace minerals and other phyto, meaning plants or plant-based nutrients, that Epic Ultra provides. This is absolutely the multivitamin mineral product everyone needs and can take with ease. This potent formula contains over 100 vitamins, minerals, and phytonutrients essential to great health, fortified for your heart, immune system, digestive system, mood, anti-aging, and more. Epic Ultra is a non-negotiable addition to your everyday health routine. So, go to adaptforhealth.com/WWNN radio to see and order this amazing product and to view all the incredible products in the Natural Longevity family. That's adapt, the number 4, health.com/WWNN radio. And remember the number 4, that's adaptforhealth.com/WWNN radio to order now.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to our second segment of Coaching for Health with me, Suzy Bricker, your resident certified, not certifiable, certified health coach. I am so honored again and pleased today to have Dr. Carol Foreman Hellerstein, my esteemed colleague and guest from last week and this week, on our show today to discuss an extremely important topic about our digestion. Let me just give you an idea of who Dr. Carol is And I promise, Dr. Carroll, that the next time that you're here, I will have this bio memorized. It's formidable, as you are. Dr. Carroll is a licensed clinical nutritionist who has maintained a private practice for over 30 years. Her articles on health and nutrition have been featured on featured in Glamour, Allure, New York Magazine, USA Today, New Beauty, Shape, and Long Island Entertainment and Lifestyle. She has appeared on ABC's Nightline, Eyewitness News, Geraldo at Large, Geraldo Rivera, and he is Living Large, Home Shopping Network, and has been heard on numerous radio talk shows, and now this one. Thank you again, Dr. Carroll. We're so honored. And she has been interviewed for articles appearing in the Washington Post, other national health magazines. Dr. Carroll served as the chief clinical nutritionist for Zone Chefs, an organization dedicated to helping people reach their weight loss goals. It's pretty amazing. As a member of numerous professional organizations, including those dedicated to the difficult challenge of weight loss, and we all know it's difficult, Dr. Carroll has devoted her professional career to helping people achieve a higher level of health. Phew. Welcome, Dr. Carroll. You look gorgeous, as usual.
Thank you. You have good taste.
Well, thank you. We both do, and we're going to talk about that in a manner of speaking when we discuss our digestive maladies and systems such as they are. So last week, all right, let's before we go into last week, tell our listeners whatever it is you'd like to tell them in addition to what I've just told them. And there's so much, but let's hear more about you, please.
Well, I've always had a fire in my belly to help people achieve higher levels of health. And as I mentioned last week, it's somewhat challenging because of the society we live in. We really have everything working against us. And whether it's the toxins that we're all exposed to on a daily basis, or the food that we eat, the chemicals that we come in contact with, it certainly is difficult to walk down that path of wellness. But I believe that with knowledge and fortitude and trying, people can take these baby steps to help them get, and I made up this term, Weller. Weller, you know.
There's an actor, Peter Weller. Hi, Peter, if you're listening, but I think that's a great term.
And none of us are perfect in this.
We're not?
No, none of us can be perfect.
That's a topic for another show.
Yeah. I think we would have to be on the top of some, mountain, growing our own foods and whatever. But if we're living in the real world, we can certainly work at making better decisions. Certainly in America, the way the foods are today, we are killing ourselves with our forks.
And we're not killing ourselves softly, are we?
No,
either?
no.
Yeah, no, we're not.
So when I come on a show like this, or in my private practice, or if I'm lecturing or writing, it's just always my passion and my purpose to help people to have enough knowledge to get better.
Well, thank God for you, and thank God for us. And again, I can't thank you enough, and am so honored to have you aligned with me and our show and doing the things that you and I really love to do. So last week when you were here, we were talking about stress and adaptogens and Epic Ultra. Tell our listeners why you're here today, the transition from that to this.
Well, last week we talked about the fact that 80% of visits to physicians today are basically based on the fact that people are so stressed out. And hot on the heels of that 80% of doctor visits, stress-related, are really related to gut issues. And a very long time ago, the Greek physician Hippocrates said that all health begins in the gut. And sadly, we have forgotten that because our immune system is in the gut. Americans were never aware of that until those wonderful yogurt commercials.
With our
Yeah,
probiotics, and
right.
of course,
Yeah.
yes.
And then we kind of, we're told that 70% of our immune system is in the gut, and so people today go to the doctor for heartburn or food allergies or IBS or gas and bloating, fatigue, decreased energy, constipation, headaches.
Whoa. I hope not all at the same time.
Some
Some do. I just want to mention, if I may, just briefly, when you said 70, that there's 70 million, if I may just interject, 70 million Americans suffer from gut issues and bad digestion. And I just wanted to say that's a lot of bad gut instincts that we have going on in this country. And that's a whole other show anyway. So excuse me for interrupting you, but I think that's an important, very important number. So please go ahead.
So basically, one of the problems is that we're not digesting our foods and we're not breaking them down. And part of that problem is because of the type of food we're eating. So we're eating foods that are so processed, and we're not meant to be eating these kinds of foods. And, going back to those concepts that we talked about last week, where we have a particular biology, and when you don't follow what nature meant you to follow, then you end up getting sick. And part of that is that the processed foods today really are devoid of not only nutrients, but enzymes.
Mm-hmm.
And enzymes are the key to health, and there's a tremendous connection between the brain and the gut. And so what we have is a situation where, we don't feel well, we have foggy thinking,
Correct.
Heartburn, we're not digesting, there's gas and bloating, and all sorts of, issues. So this incomplete breakdown of food is really what the issues are and what the problems are. And this improper digestion and elimination is contributing to all aspects of illness. It's not just digestion. There's this superhighway. There's this connection between between the brain and the gut.
Yes, there is.
And so, when you do say I have this gut feeling, it really is because the brain and the gut are connected. And so it's not just heartburn. It's every aspect of our wellness is connected to what we put in our bodies.
Yes, that's very true. There are some very interesting studies today that are really establishing the connection between the mind and the gut, and the gut and the mind. And there is a superhighway. That's a great term. Of course, you speak amazingly. You just coin things so fantastically. And there's a direct superhighway connection to our gut and our moods and our brain health as well. So we are going to go into our second break. We're a little bit over time, but we're going to go into our second break. And please stay with us. Dr. Carol is going to have more great information about our gut health. So don't go anywhere.
You've heard the saying, you are what you eat. Think about it. And for most of us, that's not a pretty picture. Compound that with the way our bodies metabolize and break down what we put into them, or not. Well, That's truly a recipe for disaster. Because we primarily consume a diet of processed foods, foods that have no or relatively no enzyme or nutritional content, we create disease all over the body. Heartburn, fatigue, inflammation, of course, digestive issues, and a compromised immune system are just some of the issues we deal with daily as a result of this. Enter digestive enzymes. Natural longevity digestive enzymes. Phytobioforte digestive enzymes and trace minerals. Phytobioforte is the most potent plant-based digestive enzyme with trace minerals product available. Completely digested foods are the answer or solution to many health problems. And if you begin a daily routine of using Phytobioforte, you may be amazed at what can happen. For more complete product and ordering information, please go to adapt4health.com/WWNN radio. That's adapt, the number 4 health.com/WWNN radio. One more time, adapt, the number 4 health.com/WWNN radio. Natural longevity Phytobioforte. The choice is yours. Stress is dangerous. We live in a world where we are subjected to it each and every day. These stressors can wreak havoc on our health, cause disease, and affect our daily lives. Stress seems to create or worsen conditions like obesity, weight issues, high blood pressure, Alzheimer's, diabetes, depression, gastrointestinal problems, sleep disorders. Well, the list goes on. It creates a whopping 80% of all visits to the doctor in this country. Enter adaptogens. Natural longevity adaptogens. Adaptogens are a unique, amazingly powerful group of ingredients that adapt their function according to your body's needs. They are the most effective, side effect-free natural stress reduction solution on the planet. Better sleep, better stamina in all areas, improved circulation, and increased overall feelings of well-being are just some of the stunning benefits. For more complete product and ordering information, please go to adapt4health.com/WWNN radio. That's ADAPT, the number 4, health.com/WWNN radio. One more time, adapt, the number 4, health.com/WWNN radio. Natural longevity adaptogens, the most powerful formula, period. Do you want to be epic? Do you want to be ultra epic? Well, now you can be. With Natural Longevity's Epic Ultra, you can take your health and wellness to a whole new level. Vitamins and minerals are critical to our overall health and well-being, but not just any vitamins and minerals. They are not, and I repeat, not created equal. There are no other products available that contain the same level of all vitamins and trace minerals and other phyto, meaning plants or plant-based nutrients, that Epic Ultra provides. This is absolutely the multivitamin mineral product everyone needs and can take with ease. This potent formula contains over 100 vitamins, minerals, and phytonutrients essential to great health, fortified for your heart, immune system, digestive system, mood, anti-aging, and more. Epic Ultra is a non-negotiable addition to your everyday health routine. So, go to adapt4health.com/WWNN radio to see and order this amazing product and to view all the incredible products in the Natural Longevity family. That's adapt, the number 4, health.com/WWNN radio. And remember the number 4, that's adapt, 4health.com/WWNN radio to order now.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to our third segment of Coaching for Health with me, Suzy Bricker, your resident certified health coach, and my esteemed and beautiful guest, Dr. Carol Foreman Hellerstein, who is a clinical nutritionist for over 30 years. Before the break, we were talking about digestive enzymes and gut health and all these bad gut instincts running around, and now we know why. So let's pick up where we left off. Where did we leave off, Dr. Carol?
Well,
For the break.
I think the one thing that Americans need to do is to realize that what we put into our bodies, it's information to the cells, and all health is on a cellular level. And so we need to connect the dots that will really allow us to understand that when you're eating all of this processed food that is so innate to our culture, we're putting food in that not only lacks nutrients. We talked about that last week, the lack
did.
of nutrition in our foods, but also the processed foods really lack the enzymes that we need to break them down. And so if you're not breaking foods down, then you're subject to all sorts of problems in the gut. And so that's really the problem here. So I believe in supplementation because in today's world, you're just not getting what you need to get. And so enzymes are these bioactive proteins that are necessary for life. And enzymes are particularly important in the digestion of food. They break them down and in the maintenance of healthy digestion.
Correct. And the enzymes break food down and into the bloodstream. And they're key players in getting the nutrients, such as they are, again, into our bodies to be able to function, correct? I mean, basically,
Yeah.
that's what it's all about. Okay.
Yeah, sometimes I try to think of a comparison, and it's kind of like if you owned a Ferrari and you put in this low-grade gasoline, and then you say, well, I'm going to drive from here to California, and then you expect performance.
A
And you're-
Ferrari.
Yeah, well, I'm
I
saying
like your
some,
thinking.
yeah, some high level machine, and that's what we are.
That's what we are.
That's what we are. Mother Nature has given us, a beautiful instrument to work with, and we need to not mess it up by putting in low grade gasoline, which
But
would be
we
low
are.
grade food.
That's right. But we
Yeah.
are, and we continue to, and that's why we're here today. So, all right.
Yeah.
So, tell us a little bit more about digestive enzymes. Break it down a little bit more for
Okay.
us, if you would.
Well,
please.
Enzymes decline with age,
So
and
does everything else.
Yes, so does everything else, but especially enzymes. And enzymes act as antioxidants. And so what ends up happening is that on a cellular level, you just don't get the protection that you need to stay healthy. So enzymes end up regulating every biochemical and metabolic process in the body, and they're just essential, absolutely essential to a healthy body because they transform foods into nutrients, and that's what we need. So I think of enzymes as spark plugs, and they cause and they speed up the essential chemical reactions that we need for our bodies to function.
Okay.
And
They do.
and they're necessary for initiating cellular energy and for repairing tissues and organs and cells. And our body actually produces millions of enzymes every second. So
That's pretty incredible.
Yeah,
That's
it
pretty
is.
incredible when you think about it.
It is.
Okay, so are there any products or a product or supplement that you recommend to achieve what we need to achieve with our digestive systems?
Yeah, my go-to favorite product when it comes to enzymes is Phyto Bio Forte from Natural Longevity. And it's a broad spectrum digestive enzyme complex that supports the breakdown of food. The potency is incredible. It's just one of the highest value and potency products in the marketplace today. And if you really want to take your health back, then at every meal you just need to take enzymes. So enzymes are like snowflakes. They're very unique, and each enzyme has a particular reaction in the body that's kind of like a lock and a key, and one won't work with the other if you want to open up the door and you have the wrong key. So
interesting. It's very interesting.
Yeah. So protease breaks down protein into amino acids, and if your kid is at McDonald's and ordering a burger and on a bun and with lettuce and tomato, you need different enzymes to break down those different food sources. So as I said, protein is broken down by protease, and amylase breaks down carbs into simple sugars, and so it's a carbohydrate splitting enzyme, and lipase works with bile to dissolve fatty acids, and we need these things because we want to be able to get the nutrients out of our foods. And if you're not breaking down those fatty acids, if you're not breaking down the fats, you're not able to absorb the fat-soluble vitamins like A, D, E, and K that
Correct.
you need to help your body stay healthy. And lipase also helps when it breaks down fat to produce hormones, the proper hormones in the body.
Extremely important hormones. We're going to do a future show, a very near future show, on hormones. But I'm sorry to interrupt you, but hormones are extremely important for our bodies.
Yeah, and we need to have the raw materials so that the body can create what we need. And so cellulase breaks down fiber,
Which is not cellulite.
And not cellulite.
Not cellulite. It is cellulase. Just want to make sure that that's clear, certainly for all of our wonderful female listeners. This is not a supplement to get rid of cellulite. Okay.
And PhytoBioForte has enzymes in it that help break down fiber, and they're anti-inflammatory. We have bromelain that digests protein and supports immune function. And there's some trace minerals in the product. So after everything is said and done, especially for an aging population, I know that I carry my PhytoBioForte in my pocketbook, and I do not eat a meal without taking one, because I know that whether I'm stressed out, whether I'm eating out in a restaurant, whatever my circumstances are, I know that this is going to help me.
Well, this is extremely valuable information, and we are going now to our break, our sponsor break. We will be right back, and we will sum up our discussion about enzymes and go into the last segment of the show about the do's and don'ts for 2016. Stay with us.
You've heard the saying, you are what you eat. Think about it. And for most of us, that's not a pretty picture. Compound that with the way our bodies metabolize and break down what we put into them, or not. Well, that's truly a recipe for disaster. Because we primarily consume a diet of processed foods that have no or relatively no enzyme or nutritional content, we create disease all over the body. Heartburn, fatigue, inflammation, of course digestive issues, and a compromised immune system are just some of the issues we deal with daily as a result of this. Enter digestive enzymes. Natural longevity digestive enzymes. PhytoBioForte digestive enzymes and trace minerals. PhytoBioForte is the most potent plant-based digestive enzyme with trace minerals product available. Completely digested foods are the answer or solution to many health problems. And if you begin a daily routine of using PhytoBioForte, you may be amazed at what can happen. For more complete product and ordering information, please go to adapt4health.com/WWNN radio. That's adapt, the number 4health.com/WWNN radio. One more time, adapt, the number 4health.com/WWNN radio. Natural longevity, Phyto Forte. The choice is yours. Whether your business has 5 employees or 500, they need to work as a winning team. Your bottom line depends on it. Suzy Bricker and Coaching for Health will work with you and your staff individually and collectively to build a customized plan that will work for your business. Suzy specializes in health and wellness programs that will improve employee productivity, reduce absenteeism, create a happier, healthier work-life environment, and increase staff loyalty and commitment to their careers and your company. All of which adds up to a greater return on your investment for you. Lower healthcare costs, attracting highly qualified new employees, and promoting an atmosphere of financial success. Contact Suzy Bricker at Coaching for Health at 248-762-4961. That's 248-762-4961. And at susan.bricker.coachingforhealth@outlook.com. For more information, go to her website, coachingforhealth.net. Find out today how to build and create the right health and wellness program for your business. Call 248-762-4961 or email susan.bricker.coachingforhealth@outlook.com.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back again to Coaching for Health with me, Suzy Bricker, your resident certified health coach. This is the last segment on today's show. Boy, these shows go by incredibly fast, and I love it. I hope you're loving it. I enjoy it. I hope you're enjoying it, and I hope you are all getting fabulous health and wellness, and a wealth of information for your own health, and will process that information in a very good digestive way, as Dr. Carol and I were speaking of in our previous segment, and move forward. So just to sum up, Dr. Carol Foreman Hellerstein and I, who is my esteemed guest, were talking about in the previous segment about digestive enzymes and how important, crucially important they are in our daily absorption of the food, and I quote, food that, in quotes, that we eat, that is truly unhealthy for us as a nation of Americans. So we were talking about the product Phyto Forte, which is pretty incredible. You can go to adapt4health.com/WWNN to order that product, find out about the incredible benefits of that product and all of the natural longevity products in their base of products. And I want to thank Dr. Carol for being on our show. She is amazing. She has an esteemed career, and she will be on future shows of Coaching for Health, and I hope you will stay tuned. So I was not able to, in our first show, to get into what's in and what's out for 2016 as far as the do's and the don'ts and trends. So I'm going to do that briefly today before we end the show. And I have a pretty profound, incredible quote I'm going to read at the end of the show to leave you with today. So I hope you enjoy all of that. There were some trends in 2016 that I believe that a lot of us will be happy to see maybe go by the wayside. And one of them might be the paleo diet. And I don't love the word diet. As I've said in my practice, the first 2 letters of the word in diet are die. We don't want to die. That's why I believe in nutrition, and Dr. Carol is a clinical nutritionist, because the first 2 letters of the word nutrition are new. So you want to renew and be new instead of die, which is why I don't like to use the word diet or any type of terminology or thinking about diets in my practice. But that's also for another show. So anyway, the paleo products, or the paleo diet, is going to be going, I believe, by the wayside in 2016. I have not been a huge proponent of it for several reasons, and I won't go into exactly what it is, except it's a diet based on our ancestors or cavemen about eating fats and meat and dairy and that kind of thing and carbohydrates. So I believe we're going to be seeing less of paleo and more of the real ways of nutrition that really get us healthy and well for the future. I'm also going to mention that a lot of the juice products, juicing or water juicing products or fortified water products may be going a bit more by the wayside. And that's not to make any judgments about whether they're good or bad. It's just about their efficacy. There's a lot of extra added calories and sugars and as I said, extra added things that are in a lot of these fortified waters. And while they're very popular today, the old standby is water. Pure water. You can add some lemon, you can add some citrus, you can add some fresh berries, and natural seltzer is also a fabulous way to get hydration. But these fortified waters, I believe, and it is my opinion, that I think they're going to be go a little bit by the wayside, and we can get back to the old sustainable H2O. Also, plant-based protein powders and protein drinks, I think are in my own practice. I use them in bio-individual programs as more of a supplement. I think we've gotten into a situation, not a situation, but a habit in this country of protein drinks and shakes and smoothies and that type of nutrition as meal replacements or meals, which is not an optimum way for our health and wellness today. We need to be eating solid, nutrient-based, macro and microbiotic foods, and we need to chew and eat and go through the process of actually eating meals, 3 to 5 meals throughout the day. So protein powders and protein drinks and smoothies are still a good way to supplement if we're on the go, but not wonderful as meal replacements. So I think that's going to be going a bit by the wayside. There's also a philosophy about clean eating and sugars and fruits. And clean eating, in my opinion, is a terminology. I'm not sure that I know what it means or our society knows what it means. I think it may be subjective or individual, but I believe that clean eating comes from knowing who you are and knowing your metabolics and knowing about your own personal health and wellness. And it comes from taking the finest supplements, as we've talked about on this show, and getting to know who you really are and what your plan for the present and the future can be in respect to your nutrition. So that's clean eating, in my opinion. So that's going to be going, I believe, by the wayside. Briefly, before we end the show, and we have only about 4 minutes or so, I just want to mention about what's going to be in for 2016. Kelp will be the new kale. Matcha tea, which is a powder form of tea, is highly powerful. It's actually pretty nutritious and tasty when you develop your own concoction, but it's in powder form. There's going to be a movement, and I believe it's a great one, towards supplemental skincare. Getting back to basics with our skincare, but using our own natural foods and supplements in topical skincare, which I think is a great concept. We talked about adaptogens in this show before, in last week's show, and we touched on it on today's show. They are something that's going to be around forever. And also, I think that holistic health in reference to integrative health is going to be certainly something in 2016 that's going to stay with us. So that's basically what's in and what's out for 2016. We've come to the end of another program. Thank you for tuning in to Coaching for Health and staying with us for this hour. I just want to read a quick quote I want to leave you with for this week and your days to come. May your coming year be filled with magic and dreams and great madness. I hope you read some fine books and really kiss someone who knows you're wonderful. And don't forget to make some great art. And I really hope somewhere in the next minute, the next day, the next year, and all to follow, that you really surprise yourself. Thanks. It's all about health and wellness. See you next week. Hope you listen next week. Have a great week.
You've been listening to Coaching for Health with Suzy Bricker. To connect with Suzy, call 248-762-4961 or send her an email to susan.brickercoachingforhealth@outlook.com. And to find out about your free health consultation, discounts, special programs, and products, go to her website, coachingforhealth.net. Again, call Suzy at 248-762-4961. And tune in again next time for more Coaching for Health with Suzy Bricker.
The opinions expressed